A few years pass, and I didn't realize that I was going to be meeting one of my greatest childhood friendships. And this story I'm going to tell you right here, my friends, brought me into this room with you today. It made me figure out I was a speaker accidentally. I went from hustling t-shirts in the back of the room to somehow being here with you in this moment. In grade 5, my interest was soccer. That was my passion. I happened to be going to the same school with a childhood friend. We both liked soccer. His name was Johan. Johan was a kid from South Africa. Him and his family immigrated here when he was a child. His dad was a doctor at the local clinic. Me and Johan talked about our dreams in soccer at recess. During breaks, we'd be kicking the ball back and forth, having a good time. One day, though, in particular, he asked me a question I wasn't prepared for. He said, "Kendall, how come you can't play soccer with us after school? How come you can't stay after school and play soccer with us?" Then I got anxious because I didn't want to reveal who I was. I was closed off. Should I tell him? Should I tell him? Should I tell him? My inner dialogue's going, kind of like that emoji from last night. Should I tell him? And finally, I opened up to my buddy. I said, "You know what, Johan?" I said, "That bus that just pulled up?" He's like, "Yeah, that's my only ride to and from school. We don't have a vehicle." He's like, "Oh. Well, doesn't your mom, your dad, the work?" I'm like, "There's only mom in the house. She's raising us. We live on welfare. We live on social assistance. There's no jobs back home. There's no ec-dev, no entrepreneurs, no nothing like that. It was purposely created. You look back in all the reserves in Canada, purposely created to keep us down. Research it." So I have an opportunity here in grade 5 with my buddy Johan. I'm telling him what I'm telling you. Sometimes throughout the months, our water would turn brown. We couldn't always drink our water. We had to collect cans and bottles. The pawn shop became our friend. No one should be friends with the pawn shop. I remember I had my prized possession, the Super Nintendo. Every 2 weeks it went in there. Oh my goodness. Just so that I can go to school, have some lunch, have a couple change of clothes, and not get made too much fun of. So I told Johan everything, and I laid it out there. I was embarrassed. I was so ashamed. I get on the bus. I go back home. I'm thinking all night, I hope he forgets this conversation. I hope my buddy still wants to be my friend. I remember the next day I show up to school. Johan's already standing out there all happy and kind of, just anxious, kind of like my bro Tyler there, when he comes up in his yellow suit. Sorry, Tyler, wherever you are. Okay, there you go, buddy. All right. All right. I just can't get over when you tripped this yesterday. My goodness. Okay. So I remember going, and Johan is standing there. He's all excited, and I'm thinking, oh, he must have forgotten our conversation. So I remember going up to Johan. Johan looks at me. He's like, "Kendall, come here. I want to talk to you. I got some good news." And I'm thinking, sitting there all ashamed, and I remember he says, "Hey, Kendall, I told my parents everything you told me last night." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." He's like, No, it's okay. I told them everything you told me, and we're going to help you out. We have some good news. My mom and dad already paid for your $50 fee to play soccer." I'm like, Well, I don't have a vehicle. How am I going to get to sports? He's like, "Hey, it's okay. We have a little minivan. We're going to come pick you up. Where do you live?" I'm like, "On the res way over there. I don't know how you're going to get there, but I live on the res." He's like, "Well, just write it on this piece of paper." There's no GPS back then, obviously. So I remember writing down this, where to go. Don't go down this road. Watch these res dogs. Don't go here. And eventually, this vehicle, this minivan, starts battling the res roads, shows up to my house, picks me up, and off I went to play my first soccer game, be in practice. Thank you. So this happened for several weeks. Johan and his family, they were paying for my fees, dropping me off, going out of their way. And then one day, they said, Kendall, why don't you come visit? Come spend the weekend. And I thought, that'd be great. How can I get there? He's like, just jump on the bus with me after school. Okay. So I remember Friday comes. I jump on Johan's bus. We get on this bus, off we went to drop off all these kids at different places. And I remember getting off and watching these kids here, and I was like, wow, this person has this property, they have a beautiful home, look at everyone has, mom has a vehicle, dad has a vehicle. I was like, oh my goodness, I couldn't believe it. Finally, we show up to Johan's house. I get off the steps, and I remember walking, and I did one of these. Oh my goodness. This is your home? He's like, yeah, this is our home. Wow. Maybe one day I can have something like this. Belief. That's why they say, go out and explore. Go learn from every person you can. Go put yourself in environments. It's the first time I was outside my zone. So I'm here, belief is starting to be created in this moment. Wow, maybe one day I can have this. I walk into their home, I thought, wow, everyone has a room. Wow. So that Friday night, we're sitting there playing Nintendo 64 Mario Kart. Remember that game? We're playing that till like 2 a.m. Finally, we get tired, we go to bed. The next morning, about 6 a.m., I hear racket in the corner. And I noticed from the corner of my eye, that was his dad. He was working out at 6 a.m. I was like, wow, look at this guy go. I didn't know that he was in the military before he came to Canada. So he was just giving her. And I remember him walking out to the walkout basement they had to the lake, and he did a lap around the lake. I was like, wow, look at this guy go. He came back, and he was studying his textbooks. I'm like, wow. He was there as a loving husband, a loving father to his children. And I remember thinking in that moment, whatever I decide to do with my life, I want to be driven like Johan's dad one day. Johan's dad was also Johan, so it got confusing talking some days. Johan Sr. became a role model to me. So for the next 2 years, they were driving me to practices, empowering me through sport.